additions to the agenda? Rex?
Also move the agenda as presented, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor? Carried. And approval of the November 8th, 2016 MPC minutes. Bernice has moved. Are there any questions or concerns? All in favor? Carried. And we'll start with the development permit applications, file number DP 2016-153. Whenever you're ready, Suzanne.
Okay, this one
Good
is
morning.
in, good morning, Division 3. The proposal is a secondary use business, a private hair salon. The legal description is Plan 031-1146, Block 4, Lot 4 in Speargrass. The owners of the property are Wendy Fuchs Say and Paul Say, if I said that right, hopefully. The applicant is Wendy Fuchs Say. Parcel size, 861 square meters, and it's zoned Speargrass low density residential. The applicant has been operating a salon and giftware sales out of the walkout basement of her home for approximately 2 months. The proposal is to operate a private hair salon in the existing dwelling located in the Speargrass community. The gift sales portion of the business will no longer be operating. No new buildings are required. The proposed salon will be located in the walkout basement of the dwelling. The salon will offer cuts, colors, highlights, shampoo, blow dry, and occasionally a perm. There will be one employee who is the owner resident of the property. There will be no deliveries to the site. Customer visits will be 3 per week and may be scheduled for any day, but will be by appointment only. Customer parking will be in the driveway of the subject property. Excuse me. Land use bylaw requirements. A secondary use business site is a site where a commercial or industrial use or operation that's not considered an accessory or primary use has been permitted. An SUB will create very limited or no noise, vibration, smoke, dust, odor, heat, glare, electrical or radio disturbance beyond the boundary of the parcel. The SUB is limited to employees being the landowner or residents of the site, and business visits per day will be limited to 5. The purpose of a SUB is to accommodate small, non-intrusive, low-risk, low-intensity developments that can be integrated into and are compatible with adjacent non-commercial or non-industrial sites. So we have some circulation comments from Alberta Health Services. Development and operation must comply with the personal service regulation and the health standards for barbering and hairstyling. AHS has not had an opportunity to review and comment on the plans, but they will be submitted to AHS, Strathmore office. A health approval inspection of the facility is required and will be on a routine monitoring program. Ensure the property and development are designed in accordance with the Alberta Public Health Act, nuisance and general sanitary guideline, and notify AHS if there are any changes or evidence of public health concerns. And Appendix E has the complete response if you'd like to read it. Internal circulation, there was no concerns. A neighbor circulation, there was one response, and you guys have that in your package. Did you want me to read it?
No, it's in the package.
Okay. It is the recommendation to approve this application with the following conditions. This DP is issued solely for the purpose of a private hair salon defined as a secondary use business. No variances have been granted. Development shall proceed according to Speargrass low density district requirements. No development shall occur on or over any utility right-of-way or easement. Business to remain consistent with application details. And DP to be issued for a 3-year term expiring on December 13th, 2019. And there's 3 of our standard notes, and which are construction to Alberta Safety Code regulations, development to meet provincial or federal legislation, and on-site signage may require a separate development permit. Or MPC can refuse this application with reasons given. There's the location plan in Speargrass. Aerial photo of the site. And that was taken of the walkout basement, that photo. And that's the full SUB parameters. And then the circulation comments, and that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Don? Okay. Any other questions? That from the resident or ratepayer that sent, you mean? Any specific concerns, Ben? Or-
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
Any questions? Any comments from the public? Nothing. Board's wishes. Don?
I have a question. What would
Could you please use this stand and state your name, please? Yeah.
Good morning. Wendy Fuchs is my name. I am the applicant. And if there was a letter of concern, would I get to know who that was or what the concern was so I could address that?
Didn't see the package? I'll get Suzanne to read the letter out then. Okay?
Okay. Okay. All right. I have taken several days and careful thought to the situation. Prior to receiving this notice, I have been approached by several residents who openly were concerned of this request. Even this morning, sweeping the fresh snow, a couple stopped me again to have another discussion. Apparently, this is a very hot topic and very disliked. I was the second resident of Speargrass, and I've watched many come and go. Most people who have left have not left happy, as this was where they built their dream home, to find the area not welcoming. There are a couple women, specifically in our cul-de-sac, who have created hell for many residents. I was specifically told by the owner's daughter, after a lot was sold, to stay clear of this one woman, as she was nothing but trouble, gossip, and games. Bad history and legacy she has left from the area they came from. These two specific women in our cul-de-sac walk daily scanning who's doing what. They are even seemingly nice to all, but the agenda is to find out your business. People have learned this, and most just keep to themselves. To not create obvious avoidance, some residents will even go to their get-togethers just so they're left alone and not in line of fire to their maliciousness. These women have complained so much that even the last committee director couldn't wait till his term was over. He said he has never met so many people with so much time on their hands and nothing better to do but complain and cause trouble. I've had close friends that have had to take down decorative stars or decorative items and such from their homes, as some rule says you can't have items on your home. Sheds have had to be moved from a couple of my friends, which has cost them a lot of money because they were not the amount of inches from the main fence. One home was being built in constant complaints my friends endured after being told, turn your house more this way, put it on the other side, it's blocking my view, and many other things they had to deal with. Personally, we've had complaints on our pool, my trailer, and my own personal driveway. We've had 3 of our vehicles ticketed and asked to move. One vehicle we've parked with permission from the owners of the golf course in the graveled area for 12 years, and suddenly recently told your vehicle is bothering neighbors, and there's been a lot of complaints. 5 residents have moved away from this cul-de-sac because of horrible, horrible gossip, lies, and made-up stories. I'm actually friends with all of them, as we are involved in church activities and different functions. There are tons and way too many other stories to mention, other hurts these women have caused. You ask why this is part of my answer to this letter. I'm deathly afraid to freely speak my opinion on this matter because of what is actively and what has happened in the past to us and others. I'm also in fear of possibly saying the wrong thing, as people, as I said above, have approached me telling me their thoughts on the subject. The neighbors that you have sent this notice to might not be the right people to direct these concerns to, as Wendy has purchased land in a different part of Speargrass to build. Maybe those neighbors should be the ones to decide, not us. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. This probably hasn't been helpful, but I'm sorry, but I'm limited at this time.
Thank you. Rex?
Before we get into a whole discussion, going through this letter, I don't feel any of the concerns are really towards this business. I don't think if they may have some other concerns with the county, which be addressed separately, but this has nothing to do with this application in my mind.
It doesn't speak for or against the application, really, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. You have some more to say? Go
I
ahead.
can address, all of this happened before we moved here. So I know who it is. She is in my cul-de-sac. But all that happened without us living here.
Okay, thanks. Is there any other questions? MPC's wishes. With the stated conditions? Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thanks for coming in. Okay, we'll move to development permit DP 2016-161.
This application is in Division 4. It's for a secondary use business, automotive tire sales. Legal description is Plan 961-164, Block 1 in Southeast 2426. It's approximately 2 miles west of Strathmore. The owner and applicant is Gary and Lisa Meyer. Parcel size 73.66 acres. It's zoned Ag General. This proposal is to buy tires at wholesale and sell them to customers as required on a client-by-client basis. There will be no tire installation on site, no outside storage required, and no deliveries to the site. The applicant will pick up tires from the supplier, and in instances where tires cannot be delivered directly to the client, they will be stored in the existing shop on the property of the applicant and picked up by customers. Customer visits are estimated to be 3 to 5 per day. An office will be located within the existing dwelling on the parcel. The landowner residing on the property will be the only full-time employee, with 2 part-time off-site employees utilized as required. Hours of operation, 8 to 5 p.m., 7 days a week, as required by customers. Land use bylaw requirements. Secondary use business is a discretionary use in Ag General. It is a site where commercial, industrial, or operation that is not considered a primary use has been permitted. The SUB will create very limited or no noise, vibration, smoke, dust, odor, heat, glare outside the boundary of the parcel, and business visits per day will be limited to 5. The purpose of a SUB is to accommodate small, non-intrusive, low-risk, low-intensity developments that can be integrated and are compatible with adjacent non-commercial or non-industrial sites. Circulations, agency circulation was not performed. Internal circulation at the file review meeting had no concerns, and neighbor circulation had no responses. It is the recommendation to approve this application with the following conditions. This DP is issued for the purpose of automotive tire sales defined as a secondary use business. No variances have been granted. Development shall proceed according to Ag General requirements. No permanent development on or over any utility right-of-way or easement. Business to remain consistent with application details. And development permit to be issued for a 3-year term expiring on December 13th, 2019. And a couple of notes, or typical notes. Or MPC can refuse this application with reasons given. So there's the location west of Strathmore. Parcel, there's the existing shop where some of the tires will be stored. And there's a photo of the shop. And the SUB parameters. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Ben?
There won't be any installation done at this site
No, the applicants are not proposing any installation.
and no storage of used tires? It's all new tires?
Correct.
I also move the,
Run out of juice. Sorry. MPC's wishes. Sorry, Bernice.
that's okay. On with the following conditions to be
Okay.
applied.
Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. We'll move on to development permit DP 2016-154.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have development permit 2016-154 in Division 5. The proposal is for a temporary dwelling for farm help and a variance request for the size of the dwelling. Legal description is Southwest 22625, located approximately 3 miles northwest of Nightingale. The owners are Larry and Dariel Olson, and the applicant is Devin and Jennifer Olson. Parcel size is 160 acres, and it's currently zoned Ag General. Some details. The applicant received a development permit DP 2013-150 on November 18, 2013 for a temporary dwelling for farm help. The permit expired on November 18, 2016. The applicant submitted a development permit application for a temporary dwelling for farm help prior to the expiry date. The dwelling was moved onto the parcel in 2014, and all conditions of the permit were completed, along with the caveat registered on title, stating that once the temporary dwelling is no longer required, that the dwelling will be removed. This is the third dwelling on the parcel. The applicant is reapplying for the temporary dwelling for the existing structure. The dwelling is 12 feet in width and 1,080 square feet. The width of the dwelling received a variance by MPC in 2013 with the first development permit. No new structures are being proposed at this time. The applicant is requesting a variance to the land use bylaw. I did include the variance section of the land use bylaw. Any development permit application for which a relaxation or variance of the bylaw is required will be submitted to the MPC for recommendation unless the variance or relaxation of the bylaw is for site coverage, front, rear, side yard setbacks, gross floor area, and building height of up to 10% of the requirement, in which case the development officer has the authority to render a decision. The development authority may grant a variance or relaxation to the bylaw when the proposed application would not unduly interfere with the amenities of the neighborhood or materially interfere with or affect the use, enjoyment, or value of neighboring parcels of land, and the proposed application conforms with the use described for that land or building in the bylaw, and the proposed application complies with any adopted statutory plans. Second dwellings and temporary dwellings. The development officer may approve a development permit for the construction of a permanent additional dwelling up to a total of 2 dwellings on a parcel if the parcel is 80 acres or greater and is currently zoned Ag General, and the dwelling meets all requirements of the bylaw. Temporary dwelling shall be approved in a land use district, and I did include and highlight a whole bunch of areas here. That a temporary dwelling may be approved by MPC, providing that the temporary dwelling is required for occupancy of farm help employed full-time, a minimum of 6 months per year at the temporary dwelling is located in an agricultural use district. The temporary dwelling is a prescribed use in the land use district and meets all other requirements of the bylaw. Second dwelling units and dwelling temporaries are not permitted in any land use district except in an ag land use unless otherwise specified in the land use district or the bylaw. As a condition of approval for a temp dwelling, the development authority may place a caveat on a property or require the applicant to enter into a development agreement with the county ensuring that the dwelling is removed at a later date. No basement development or additions are permitted on temp dwellings. Temporary dwelling approvals shall not exceed a period of 3 years, and temporary or dwelling manufactured or only type of dwellings would be a temporary dwelling. So it can only be a manufactured home, and we do specify under 793 that all dwelling manufactured shall have a minimum width of 16 feet. Agency circulation was not performed. There were no concerns at file review, and no responses were received from adjacent landowner circulation. It's the recommendation to refuse this application for the following reasons. The Land Use Bylaw 2007-56, Section 794 states that all dwelling manufactured shall be, why is that not in there? Does it show up on your package? Yeah. So let me read that. 7.94 states that used manufactured home shall be a minimum of 4.87 meters, 16 feet in width. That's weird why that did not show up like that. Oh, there it is. Or MPC can approve this application with conditions. This is the site location map just off of Township Road 260. Here's a 2016 aerial photo. So up in the corner here is where the temp dwelling is located. And over on the west side of the parcel are the 2 other dwellings on the parcel. Here is a closer look of the aerial photo of the temp dwelling. And I went out, did a site inspection, and here is the temp dwelling as it sits as of November 18th. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Question? Bernice?
Did you see there's 3, are they still being used as temporary dwellings? Do you know?
So there's 3 dwellings on the parcel. 2 are permanent, 1 is temporary. I'll show you that picture right here again. The 2 permanent dwellings are over here on the left side, and the temp dwelling is up in the corner. Those are the 3 dwellings that are on the parcel right now.
Okay. Any other questions? Brenda?
Yeah, I'd like to see the conditions with regards for approval. We've already gave them approval prior to, this is the renewal for this. So we've already given them a variance previously.
So it is a temporary permit. They're only good for 3 years. That's why it's a brand-new application, which is why I'm recommending refusal again this time, just as I did last time. But I did prepare some conditions just in case MPC was looking at approving the application. Is that what you're looking at right now?
Yep.
That's what you want to see?
Yep.
Here are the 4 conditions I prepared, just in case MPC wanted to approve the application.
Make them a little bit bigger, Susan, or Kim, please.
Oh, is it too small?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
There you go. Okay, continue on.
So this development permit is issued solely for the purpose of a used manufactured dwelling defined as a dwelling temporary for farm help. A variance has been granted to allow the dwelling to be 12 feet in width. Development shall proceed according to Ag General District requirements and must comply with the land use bylaw. No permanent development shall occur on or over any utility right-of-way or easement, and permit is to be valid for a period of 3 years, expiring on December 13th, 2019. Those are the 5 conditions that I've prepared.
Okay, is that what you wanted to see, Brenda? Okay, any other questions? Ben?
Question to staff. I'm trying to remember the application back in 2013 and why the variance was allowed. And I'm thinking there was something else going on there, that it was applied for as a temporary residence because that's what it was supposed to be used for, was temporary. It wasn't supposed to be there longer than the 3 years, if I remember right, but I could be wrong.
So I did look back at 2013, and the recommendation was for refusal because of the size of the dwelling. However, there wasn't any special recommendations or circumstances with the applicant other than for farm help. I know he is here today if you have any questions.
Okay, applicant here? Do you have any comments? Please use the mic, please.
Yeah, just that my mom's trying to subdivide and get stuff figured out. My dad passed away in the spring, so she's got a lot she's dealing with, and then we're gonna eventually buy the land and then build a house there. So it's just taking a little longer than the
Okay.
3 years.
Are you presently living there?
Yeah.
Okay.
me and my
Any
family.
questions for the applicants?
Yeah, so where the temporary residence is what you're talking about subdividing?
No, she wants to subdivide her.
The permanent residence is out of the rest of it?
Yeah.
And then what are you gonna do with the temporary one?
Then we'll buy the land and then build a house on it. And then get rid of the temporary.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, thank you. MPC's wishes?
So
Brenda?
I will move, I gotta find it. Approval of DP 2016, sorry, 154, thank you, with the 5 conditions as stated.
That were previously on the board?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Is carried. Thanks for coming in. Development permit, DP 2016-158.
Okay, development permit 2016-158 in Division 7. The proposal is for a tower and a variance request for the height of the tower. Legal description, Northwest 24, 2618. Location is northeast corner of the county on Highway 848. The owners of the parcel are Indian Springs Farms Limited, and the applicant is the Wheatland Wind Project and Green Gate Power. Parcel size is 158.97 acres, and it is currently zoned Ag General. Details of the proposal: the applicant is proposing to erect a 110-meter meteorological tower. The tower is used to assess wind resources. The tower is used to verify wind characteristics at a site under consideration for a wind farm. In addition, for the permit for a tower, a variance would be required to allow the tower to be 110 meters, which is 360.89 feet in height. The Land Use Bylaw 2756 states that the maximum height for a tower is 150 feet or at the discretion of the approving authority. I included the variance portion of the land use bylaw, and of course it's over 10%, and so it is at the discretion of MPC. They want to approve that variance. Some other things about the variances is that the proposed application would not unduly interfere with the amenities of the neighborhood or materially interfere with or affect the use, enjoyment, or value of neighboring parcels of land. And the proposed application conforms with the use prescribed for that land or building in the bylaw. And the proposed application complies with any adopted statutory plans. And a tower is a discretionary use within the Ag General District. I did circulate to Alberta Transportation. I received their approval yesterday, so it does say no response received in your package, but I did receive it yesterday. File review, I should have put Mike Zier's name in here. He spoke with Greengate Powers and they wanted to move the road onto private lands. That is no longer the case because Alberta Transportation will not let them access off of Highway 848. So according to the site plan, which I'll show you in a minute, they will be accessing off of the undeveloped road allowance. And no responses received from adjacent landowners. It's the recommendation to approve this application with the following conditions. This development permit is issued solely for the purpose of a meteorological tower defined as a tower. A variance has been granted to allow the tower to be 110 meters in height. Development shall proceed according to Ag General District requirements and must meet all provisions of the Land Use Bylaw. No permanent development shall occur on or over any utility right-of-way or easement. Applicant to provide communications from Alberta Transportation, which I received yesterday. If parcel is accessed from the undeveloped road allowance, the owner developer is to enter into a development agreement with the county pursuant to Section 650 of the MGA to be prepared at the cost of the owner developer and shall be registered against the certificate of title. The development agreement shall include without restriction the following provisions. A design and construction of a public road in accordance with the approved site plan and Section 9 of the county's Public Works Policy, which is the servicing standards, as amended or approved by Wheatland County Council from time to time with the associated infrastructure requirements, including the following. Road design, signage, temporary cul-de-sac if it's required. Approaches to the proposed parcel and remainder built and located to county standards and approved by the Public Works Department. I don't know why that's not showing up.
I have the same disease on my computer.
Do you? Okay, so it's not just me. So we do, and see, look at that. It must be the computer. I can read it. Hang on. We're getting there. Now I need my granny glasses. So approaches to the proposed parcel and remainder built and located to county standards and approved by the Public Works Department at the owner's expense. Some notes, the developer shall meet all provincial or federal legislation and all construction shall conform to Alberta Safety Code regulations if it's required, or MPC can refuse this application with reasons given. Hope my pictures show up. Here's the location map. You'll see it's about a mile or so east of Highway 564 and on Highway 848. This is the site plan submitted by the applicant, so they will be accessing the parcel through this undeveloped road allowance, and they will have to build a portion of that road to county standards just to make sure that sight lines are okay and that the vehicles that are going to be accessing that tower that the road can handle that. So I'm not sure exactly how much road they're going to need to build yet. That'll be up to the Public Works Department to decide. And this is the location of the tower right in here. This is an aerial photo. That's the approximate location of the proposed tower. And I did include a picture of what a Met Tower looks like. This is in the same area, just with a different project, and they are quite tall. The base of it is approximately 6 feet, but they do have these expansion or wires that kind of hold it up. And I did do a site inspection, and it's bare parcel. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Comments?
Comment, Ben, go ahead.
Have you had any contact with the landowner?
Yes, I have.
And what was his response? Because he talked to me a week ago.
What was his response
What
to?
was his question? He has some issues with the tower.
Yes, he does. And when I did contact him, he was concerned about the guide wires interfering with his
Use of
farming the land. And him and the applicants have come to an agreement. So he is fine with the application.
When did you talk to him?
Last week, before I put the package together.
Okay, so he's, because he hasn't called me back and he was supposed to. So I'm sitting here trying to decide whether or not they've reached an agreement or not, so, okay.
According to the applicant, they have reached an agreement.
Okay.
Yes.
So- And the applicant is Greengate?
The applicant is Greengate for the Wheatland Wind
According
Project.
to Greengate, they've reached an agreement, but I haven't heard back from the landowner as to whether or not they've reached an agreement. Because I know he signed to allow them on his land, but then when the tower became the height and he found out how wide the guy wires were, that became a real issue to the landowner because they can't farm around those guy wires, and it has to do with the payment and everything else. So I'm a little leery to agree to this until I hear from the landowner stating that he's in agreement with what they've approved or asked for.
So through the chair, it was the landowner that I spoke with. It wasn't the applicant. So I spoke with Indian Spring Farms to find out if they were okay with this application and had a long discussion with them. And they have come to an agreement with Greengate Power about this tower. So as far as I know, everything is okay.
Rex?
I have a question actually, through the chair. This application has been recommended for approval and it's way outside of the guidelines. So from this office's standpoint, what constitutes or a recommendation for approval outside of guideline versus recommendation for refusal?
Okay.
So that is my recommendation, is for approval, and I base it on the land use bylaw. That's the only thing I can go with. And I did include in your package that I believe that the proposed application would not unduly interfere with the amenities of the neighborhood or materially interfere with or affect the use, enjoyment, or value of neighboring parcels of land, and that the proposed application conforms with the use prescribed for that land or building in the bylaw. So that's what I based my recommendation on.
Any more questions? No.
Just further to that, I've received nothing from any of the neighboring landowners in objection to it. The only objection I had was the landowner, and from your conversation, he's fine with it now, so.
Brenda?
So I would like to know what kind of lighting is going to be. We had an issue with other tall things in the neighborhood, and I'm curious to know what kind of lighting to affect that neighborhood in the evening versus like the strobes versus the red.
So through the chair, this type of tower would be regulated through the AUC, and they dictate what type of lighting would go on top of the tower. If you have any comments with regards to the tower, we can certainly forward those on.
We had an issue with Palliser Green with the strobes on the top of the elevators. And they were asked to remove the strobes, and does anybody remember what they put up? I believe, Alice, you were on that.
They didn't remove the strobes. All they did was put a spray paint the bulb on one side black. So the strobe is actually still to federal aviation regulations. And I believe on this tower, they also take over how they have to light it. It must be strobe because it's way above the 150 feet. I think it's 120 feet on regulations on aviation. Anything over and above that, they will demand the strobes be on it because it has to be visible for aircraft with that height and that terrain. So I'm not worried as long as we have that they have to meet the federal regulation, so they'll make sure that that's done for aircraft.
Ben?
And in that location, there is only one residence, and that's 2 miles as a crow flies. Any other resident is over 3, that'd be over 3-4 miles from that site. So the closest residence is 2 miles as a crow flies.
Any other questions? I have a concern. These towers, are they, they're temporary in nature?
Through the chair, most of them are. This particular one is not. This is going to be a permanent tower. Usually what happens is after they've erected all of the wind energy conservation, the windmill styles, they'll take these ones down. But in this particular case, they're keeping it up in case they want to add more towers after, more windmills after.
So when they come in to build, if they do build windmills, and they would build off undeveloped road allowances, they would be asked to develop the road. Okay.
Yes, I've had that conversation with them. I've looked at their proposed application for where some future towers may want to be built, and with discussions with Mike Zier, we've told them that any towers being accessed on the undeveloped road allowance would have to be built to county standards.
That's different than the oil and gas sector. They just drive down the undeveloped road allowances as is. Brenda?
The towers that they put up there, are they allowing anybody else access to them? So are they, is it just for their own use, or are they also allowing others to click onto those towers?
I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
In answer to Glenn's query, the reason we can't do it with the oil industry is because they don't apply for development permits.
I know.
These guys have to, so we can put those conditions in place.
Yeah.
That's the,
I know that.
Yeah.
It just seems so unfair.
I know.
We can't make it better by removing it. Okay, any other questions? MPCs, oh, Bernice?
Through the chair, so they have plans to put up more towers, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
That's in the works?
So through the chair, this is a meteorological tower, so
Yeah.
it's going to measure the wind before they actually put up the windmill style ones. So as far as I know, this is the only one they're putting up for this particular project.
Okay.
They will be coming in fairly soon with a development permit for, I think it's around 40 actual wind towers, with the big windmill styles.
Okay.
And we'll deal with that application when it comes in. But this is the only one Met Tower for this particular project.
I was just kind of wondering where these other towers are going to go, if it's going to be accepted by the landowners.
All of the site locations have been signed off. Yeah, they've had the open house in Hazar here a month ago. And all the sites have been signed off by the owners, so. I'll move acceptance of the DP 2016-158 with the conditions as provided.
Okay, any other questions? Go ahead, Alan.
Not a question, just a comment. January 10th at 1 o'clock, a representative from Green Gate Power will be making a presentation to council. It's not the application, but he'll be given more information and follow up from the Hazar open house that we attended. So.
Okay, thanks for that. Any other questions, concerns? All in favor? Carried. And subdivision application SD 2016-67.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So file number is SD 2016-67. It's in Division 5. Proposal is to subdivide one 2.19 hectare or 5.41 acre parcel from the titled area. It's adjacent to Range Road 245 and Township Road 252, approximately 3.7 kilometers south of the hamlet of Nightingale. Legal description is Northwest 82524 west of the 4. Owners are James and Opal Seifert, and the applicants are James and Opal Seifert. Title area is 61.91 hectares, and it's 153 acres. The existing land use is Country Residential District and Agricultural General District, and the proposed parcel is just one. So the intent of the application is to subdivide 2.19 hectares from the titled parcel to accommodate an existing farmstead. The parcel was previously redesignated Country Residential District on July 8th, 2015. File number was PL 2013-24. For municipal policy review, the planned area does not fall within an area structure plan and has therefore been reviewed through the municipal development plan and land use bylaw. Through the municipal development plan, the MDP has section 3.1.1 and 3.1.2 outlining the agricultural objectives and policies for the county. Due to its existing use as a farmstead, the subdivision does not remove any productive farmland from production. As well as per 3.2.2 of the MDP for natural area policies, there are no important natural areas affected by this subdivision. Just scroll down. So there is a wetland just directly adjacent to it. However, with the proposed subdivision, it has been taken into consideration, and the boundary itself has been positioned so that it doesn't incorporate the wetland or would affect it. As a result, it's created a buffer between the actual property line and the wetland that's currently there. Through the land use bylaw, looking at it through Country Residential District, the proposed 2.19 hectare or 5.41 acre parcel is over the 5 acre maximum size for Country Residential District. However, as per section 8.5.5 of the land use bylaw, it states larger parcel sizes may be considered due to the land characteristics such as topographical constraints, water features, severed parcels, and existing parcel development or configuration. As a result, staff has no concern with the larger size of the parcel as per the land use bylaw. For setbacks, it's 125 feet for the side and front yard in Country Residential. For this application, the front yard setback has been met. However, the side yard does not comply at 122 feet. However, because we are using the Muni site as a directive for the setbacks, staff aren't concerned with this because it may just be the mapping system itself, and the 2 or 3 feet difference is probably made up if you were to go onto the actual property there. The two structures that are available, that are currently on the site, which are in blue, they comply with the 25-foot setback as required per the land use bylaw. For access, the proposed parcel has access from Range Road 245. Servicing, there are no concerns with the current water servicing or septic servicing. Through the municipal reserve, there is an appraisal which was put together on May 22nd, 2014 by Doug Pollard. It was estimated at $2,750 per acre, and the exact amount will be determined based on the final plan of survey. For circulation, we did external agencies. Alberta Environment and Parks had no concerns. Alberta Health Services had their standard 4 comments. Rosewood Gas Corporation had no concerns. In the package, Fortis Alberta, I originally stated that there were no comments, but there were. It was just an error on my part, so they have no concerns with the application. And internal review, Development Services just wanted to ensure setbacks to the new property boundaries for structures. And Protective Services, Transportation, Emergency, and Agriculture had no concerns. Okay. So our recommendation, so there are 2 possible options for MPC's consideration. Option 1, that subdivision application SD 2016-67 be approved with the conditions noted in Appendix A. Or option 2, that the subdivision application be refused. So I'm going to scroll down to the... So staff recommends option 1, which is approval due to the alignment with agricultural and natural policies for the MDP. It does not remove agricultural land from production, and it complies with the land use bylaw under the requirements of country residential district. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Alice?
Can you, through the chair, explain to me why we're taking municipal reserve at this time?
So the property itself, it already has several parcels subdivided from it. So we've taken the appraisal for that. Where is it here? Yeah, so it's complied with the Municipal Government Act for 666. The municipal reserve can be taken for it.
Through the chair, we don't take municipal reserve if it's a first parcel out or if it's a parcel over 40 acres. So because this is not the first parcel out and it's not over 40 acres, that's why we can take it as per the MGA on this one.
So further to that question, so the parcel out is the road allowance. Is that the first parcel you're considering? Because I don't see any other home built on here or...
Through the chair, I'll go up and I'll show you a map. There's several parcels that have been taken out previously. I think there's 2 in total.
Oh, my parcel doesn't show that.
So on this, it's kind of blurry, unfortunately. There is a section along here that was taken out.
Along where? On the side, that's what...
Yeah, along the side there. There is a residence. There is a residence on that. I can also pull up MuniSite if you'd like so you can get a better detail of that.
Through the chair, there's also 2 other acreage parcels at the top, along the top boundary that were taken out as well. So we'll just pull up them on MuniSite so it's clear, but I believe, because we were discussing this one at the Nightingale ASP open house, and there's the potential for 1 more parcel on this quarter, given the 5 lot rule. So there is a number of subdivisions. So this is the 4th.
Yeah.
The actual,
Okay.
now the actual 1 lot is an access road to the back quarter section. That's the 1 lot that you're talking about. 1 is actually a road. It's a road easement to the back quarter. Due to the water features, there's a creek that runs through there. You know where we're at? And then there's a quarter behind that existing quarter that needed access across there. So there's a parcel for a road there.
And I guess, and to further to Alice's question, only time I wouldn't take municipal reserves unless the parcel can be further subdivided down. And I'm thinking this is probably for a long, long time won't be subdivided down. So, and you lose your opportunity to take it at this time if you don't take it. Go ahead.
To your comment on either one of these do not show. Okay, maybe we have something here that shows what the other parcels are, or homes, or whatever we're talking about here.
So I can't speak for it completely because Gary Malenka had been dealing with this this application, but there is a property here that is owned by them as well, and it has a pending redesignation on it, and it has been it has a pending redesignation which would further be subdivided. And then there's this little property up here, the parcel that's owned by someone else, but it's on the same quarter section there.
You can see, sorry. This happens to be my hometown portion there. As you can see, there's an actual creek that flows through there, that flows down through, which cuts off this other quarter down in the corner. If you go right down to the number 8 there, there's a piece there that road accesses. See, because it's on a separate quarter and it's cut off by the creek. So what Seafords have done is made a road from the north coming down to access that other parcel. Yeah. And then that parcel at the top was subdivided. So there's 2 parcels up there, both father and daughter live on both there. So
one is on one quarter and one's on
yeah,
another quarter.
Exactly.
So you can't take that parcel and put it onto this quarter.
Yeah.
So actually, we're looking at three parcels on that quarter, right?
No, 3, yes.
Well,
yes,
yeah.
you're looking at 3.
There'd be the one
With the road
and
allowance.
the road allowance, and then this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And my question is, that was the original home.
Yeah.
So, well,
I could almost tell a Dawn story right now, but I won't.
Any other questions? MPC's wishes.
I'll go with the recommended action of approval of SD 2016-67
Okay. With the conditions as listed?
as with conditions as per stated.
Okay, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Any other planning matters? All in favor?
Motion to adjourn.
Carried. Meeting starts at 11 o'clock for council.